Hi, welcome to the Shiko Math Practice Lab, Learning Through Practicing. And I'm so happy, and for today we're going to start a new unit. And this unit is talk about the derivatives and the functions graph. So basically, if we want to graph functions, how do we use the derivatives information? For example, how do we find the functions increasing, decreasing, what type of concavity the functions have, and this unit is one of the key applications about the derivatives here. Okay, so if you take a look, we're going to have 8 practice sets for this unit here. And for the topic number 1 is the practice set number 1, which we're going to start with identify the functions increasing or decreasing. I always, so for the first 4 topics, like the first ones here, we're going to take a look, identify the increase or decreasing by using a graph, right? So what's that mean? That means if I give you a graph, how can you identify increase, decreasing? Then you will say, that's pretty trivial. That's true. And then instead of just the graph of the f of x, I might give you a graph for the first derivative of the function f prime x. Now, how do we use that information to identify the original function f of x is increasing or decreasing by just looking for the graph? Then the topic number 2 is instead of looking at the graph, the problem we'll give, we're going to practice is like we give a function, so give a equations. Then how do I use the derivative to identify increasing, decreasing, and critical values? How do I use the first derivative to do that? Then after we know how to do the increase, decreasing here, then the next 2 practice set, we're going to work on the concavity. That means how do I see a graph is concave up or concave down? So just like increasing and decreasing, we're going to use the graph first. So might give you the original graph, first derivative graph, or second derivative graph. Then you use these informations and to determine that the original graph at a certain interval is concave up or concave down. Then after we got a pretty good idea what is a concave up, concave down, then the practice set number 4 is when the problem gives you a function, give you equations here, how do I take the derivative? How do I use the second derivative to determine is it concave up, concave down, and also how to find inflection points by using the second derivatives here. Okay, so after we understand increasing, decreasing, concave up, concave down, then the next topics here we're going to find is how do I find the maxima and the minima points for the function. So we have 2 kinds of maxima, minima points. We have what we call this absolute maximum or local maximums here. So in the practice set number 5, we're going to what we call this the first derivative test. So we're going to use the first derivative test to try to help us identify where is the local max and the local mean. And if a function also, if it's defined in a closed interval, can we find the absolute max and absolute means here? So the practice set number 6 is we are going to working on how to identify local max and local mean. But instead of using the first derivative, we're going to use the second derivatives test. Okay, so after the first practice set, I think you should have a very good idea about increasing, decreasing, critical points, and the inflection point, the max, and the mean. Then the last 2 topics practice set is let's try to combine all these informations and let's try to sketch the graphs here. So the differences between the practice set number 7 is we're going to sketch this graph by only use the derivative informations. Okay, so in here, I'm not going to give you what exactly the function looks like. I'm going to tell you maybe the first derivative is greater than 0 at this interval, and the second derivative less than 0 is in this intervals. Then based on those derivative information, can you roughly sketch the graph? Of course, because I don't have a function, so I won't get exact graph. But you know, what is roughly you sketch the graph by using those derivative information. Then the last practice set is the topic number 8. Basically, this is combined all the information we learn in this unit. So we're going to learn how to sketch the graph, and we're going to start with give you a functions, right? So how do you do it? So basically, you need to determine your own increasing, decreasing intervals, concave up, concave down, max and mean points, any asymptotes, all this information, and also what is the domain of this function. So the top, you know, the practice number 8 is basically is combined all the information we learn is this in this unit. Okay, that's it. So we have an 8 practice set. I'm so excited to start this unit because I think this unit is a very fun unit, and we can use the information we learn and then try to help us to understand how to graph the functions here. And that's it. And I'm looking forward to, you know, for you to go over through this 8 practice set for this new unit. Okay, so I guess I will talk to you our first practice set. How do I identify increasing and decreasing by using the graphs here? All right, that's it. Have a good day, and you know, come back and let's start with practice set number 1 here. Okay. Okay. Have a good day, and talk to you later. Bye.